Yeah, in this problem, as I've told you, we are asked to construct this x1 of t, okay, using g of t. This x1 of t is called as staircase waveform because it is in the form of staircase. See here, it looks like staircase, isn't it? So that's why this is named as staircase waveform. So this staircase waveform needs to be constructed using this g of t. Understand that? Now we have got a formula for this. So let's not see what is the g of t that we need to be making use of this. So we have a standard formula for that. But before getting the standard formula, how many different versions of g or g of t we need to construct this is what we need to understand. So everybody in the solution just have this. Okay, you can extend the same thing down. What all we need to have, what all versions of g of t we need to have to construct this x1 of t is what we're looking at. Okay, so one thing that we need is c. So this particular thing has got this one. Okay, and this is one signal. We can take this as one signal. See here. We can take this as one signal which goes from 0 to 4. Okay, and let's call this as g1 of t. This is g of t. This is g1 of t. We need another signal. What is that signal? That signal is this. We need a signal which is 1 from 2 to 4. Sorry, which is 1 from 1 to 4. You can just take this down and you can draw one signal which is 1 from 1 to 4. Okay, so let's call this signal as g2 of t. We're just trying to have different signals using which we can construct this. Fine. Now, this for having this part of the signal, we need to have another signal of this form, which is 1 from 2 to 4. Okay. So here would be your 2. Just take it down. And so 2 to 4, you will have another signal. And let's call that signal as G3 of T. Okay. So we need another signal now. Okay, and that signal is 1 from 3 to 4. So we need another signal. So let's call that signal as G4 of T. Fine. And that G4 of T is 1 from 3 to 4. Understand that? These are all ones, mind you. The amplitude is 1. Okay. So these 4 different versions of g of t needs to be considered to construct this particular signal x1 of t. Now, the challenge is to express this g1 of t, g2 of t, g3 of t, and g4 of t in terms of g of t. Okay, in terms of g of t. So that means g of t needs to be somehow manipulated so that we'll get g1 of t. Okay, so there is a formula for that. Understand? And that formula is this. Everybody understand? See, we have to consider one formula which says that, okay, g1 of t, suppose if you have to obtain this g1 of t, if you have to obtain in terms of g of t, then it is g of at minus b is what we need to consider this as. Okay, because this is g of t. So if you have to obtain g1 of t in terms of g of t, then we need to see it has to be shifted as well. It has to be scaled. So by what amount you have to scale, by what amount you have to shift this g of t so that you will get g1 of t. Okay, so for that we have got a standard formula. So g1 of t we are trying to obtain in terms of g of t. So what is that scale? What is that shift we need to have is what we are trying to see. Where a is actually equal to width of g of t divided by width of g1 of t. So that is a. So we have a here, right? So a would be equal to width of this g of t, okay, and width of this g1 of t. Understand that? Now, what can we do further? We need to see what is b. What is b? B is actually a that we obtain here in the previous step into midpoint of g1 of t. This is what one needs to understand. Okay, so now if you remember this particular equation, it would be easier for us to obtain g of or g1 of t in terms of g of t. Okay, so let's see that. So now can you tell me what is a here? So therefore a is what? Anybody? What is width of g of t? Width of g of t is 2. So this is one division. Okay, and this is another division. So you have 2 as the width, 2 units as the width. What is the width of g1 of t? G1 of t width is 0 to 4 means it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 as the width of what? G1 of t. So it would be 2 by 4. That would be half. Okay, and that can be substituted as half only or 0.5. So this is A. And what is B? What is B? B is A into, that is half into midpoint of g1 of t. Can you tell me the midpoint of g1 of t? See here we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So what is the midpoint of g1 of t? Can you make out? So if you have to come to exactly the center, so this is the center. So 2 is the center. Everybody understand that? So it is 1 by 2 into see here, it's 1 by 2 into what? 2. So that would be what? 1. So A is half and B is 1. Therefore, G1 of T is what? Is the question. Okay. So therefore, G1 of T is, therefore, G1 of T can be obtained as what? G of, in the place of A, you need to put half, minus in place of B, you need to have 1. This is G1 of T. Everybody understand this point? Okay, so this is how we need to find out G1 of T. This is G1 of T. Now, what is G2 of T? So on the similar ground, G2 of T would be G of AT minus B. So let me do that also. Okay, now to obtain G2 of T, what we need to do? We need to consider G2 of T, which is again given by G of AT minus B. What is A? A is what? The same. Width of G of T, that is 2, and width of G2 of T. What is width of G2 of T? Where is that here? So let me write that. Let me write that properly so that you will, since this is first problem of this sort, let me write that. So A is width of width of g of t divided by width of g2 of t. If you would understand, that's width of g2 of t. So you do not have to write this formula for every calculation of a and b, but since we are doing it for the first time, I'm doing this. So g of t, width of g of t is 2 anyways. That will not change anywhere. See here, width of g of t will not change. What is width of g2 of t? So it's 1. So this is 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4. First width 1, 2, 3. So 3 seconds is the width. Understand that? So that's why it would be A would be 2 by 3. What is B? B would be A into, so this is 3, sorry. So B would be A into midpoint of G2 of T. Okay. So what is A? A is 2 by 3 anyways. What is midpoint of G2 of T, everybody? See here? G2 of T is here. What is the midpoint? Midpoint is here. So this is going to be the midpoint. So what is this? This is 2.5. So 2.5 would be the midpoint of what? G2 of T. So that's this. So you need to do this 2 by 3 into width of, sorry, midpoint of G2 of T, that is 2.5. So which will give you 5 by 3. 2 into 2.5 will give you 5 in the numerator, and the denominator anyways you have 3. So therefore we can say, therefore G2 of T is actually equal to G of 2t by 3 minus 5 by 3. So this is how we obtain G1 of T and G2 of T, and on similar grounds. I'll not do everything. Okay, so you'll have to do this in the test or internals or exam if you're asked. Okay, all the 4 you have to calculate and you have to give that on. Similarly, we can obtain our G3 of T as G of T minus 3 and G4 of T as G of 2T minus 7. Understand that? So we have to obtain what? This G1 of T, G2 of T, G3 of T in terms of G. So that we have done now. Now once you avail all these functions in terms of G of T, okay, how will you construct this x1 of T using this is the question. So if you add all these, okay, if you add all this, you're going to get x1 of T. So can you just see that? So if you have just see from it is from 0 to 4, it is 1 from 0 to 4. So if you add G1 of T and G2 of T, what you'll have? From 0 to 1 you will have 1, and from 1 to 4 you will have 2. You will get this much, okay. And to this, if you add this, what will happen? Okay, so from 2 onwards you will have 3, okay. And if you add this also to this, okay, you will have 4 from 3 onwards. So that means, so what you have to understand is x1 of T can be constructed by adding G1 of T, G2 of T, G3 of T, and G4 of T. So if you add all these functions, okay, you will get this staircase waveform. Understand that? So therefore we can say, therefore G of sorry, it's not G of T, x1 of T, the staircase waveform can be given as what? G1 of T, that is given as what? G of T by 2 minus 1 plus g of 2t by 3 minus 5 by 3 plus g of t minus 3 plus g of what 2t minus 7. So this is how we do this problem. Okay, so this is also something that is quite popular in the exam, this type of obtaining waveform. You'll not be like, we can give many such waveforms. Okay, for all such waveforms you need to first see using what all functions of g of t. So this split is very important. Once you are able to split this, and how to split this, if you are able to split this, how to obtain these splits in terms of g of t can be done like this. Okay, so if you understand one such problem, you can do any problem of this sort. Understand that? Okay, so with that we will stop these sketches and we'll go with some more signals. Okay, evaluation of signals and dealing with energy and power. Fine, so everybody just take down this. Evaluate the following integrals. Okay, so this we are doing which involves the problems on what, the impulse functions. Okay, so let's take this as problems on impulse, unit impulse function, unit impulse functions. Right, so under that what we're doing is this. The first problem under this is evaluate the following integrals. Evaluate the following integrals. How we can, what we have under this we shall see now. So first integral that we are seeing is, so we have an integral going from -1 to 1, 3t square plus 1, okay, delta of t dt. So what is this particular integral equal to? Okay, so which property needs to be, which property of uh, delta function or unit impulse function need to be used for this? Okay, see, this is a signal. This particular thing is a signal. So this is x of t and this is delta of t. Fine. So what we can evaluate this by using the shifting property. So solution by shifting property, what do we understand is integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t into delta of t dt is equal to what? It is x of 0. Understand it? Why it is x of 0? Since delta of t exists at t equal to 0. So this is the reason why we need to evaluate x of t at t equal to 0. Fine. Now everybody just see. Therefore, we can say, therefore, we can evaluate this as what? X of t is what? 3t square plus 1. So this needs to be evaluated at t equal to 0. So that is what is this. Okay. So if you do that, it would be what? 1. So this integral is actually 1. Understand that? So how did we get x of 0? X of 0 is got because this we expressed as x of t being evaluated at t equal to 0. Understand this point? Now, let's take the same uh, type of problem and see what is this going to be equal to. Here we have integration now going from 1 to 2. Let's have the same x of t, 3t square plus 1 delta of t dt. Okay, so what is this is what is that you're asking. So can anybody tell me what is this supposed to be? I've taken the same signal, okay, but I've changed the range of integration. And now here in the first place that we should see here is delta of t existing in this particular range? So we are integrating it from -1 to +1 means t equal to 0 is there within this range. T equal to 0 is there within this range, and this delta of t falls within this range, is there within this range. Okay, that's why we need to evaluate this particular function of t at t equal to 0, since delta of t is 0 at t equal to 0. Now see this, everybody. Here the range of integration is 1 to 2. Is t equal to 0 included in this? Is t equal to 0? See here, if we have 0 here, then -1 to 1 would include this delta of t. Understand that? Now, so this is the range of integration in the first problem. So we can evaluate x of t. So integration -1 to 1 means yes, it includes delta of t. Now the scenario is different. It's -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay. The delta function is here. So it's 1 here. We have to write 1 in continuous time. But the integration range is this. What is that? 1 to 2. So if we are integrating from 1 to 2, in that particular range, delta of t is not existing. Okay, so you should say, since delta of t is not within the range of integration, what we can say, this is integral 1 to 2 3t square plus 1 into delta of t is actually what? 0. So such simple problems we have to be looking at. Fine. So range of integration and whether this delta of t exists in that range of integration is the question. Now let's take another problem and see if we can understand this. See here, we have let's say uh, 2 to 3t square, okay, into, okay, let's take the same signal, not a problem, into delta of t minus 1 dt. Can you tell me what is this? Just by seeing this, can you tell me what is this? Anybody? See the range of integration and see where this delta of t exists. So see here now, this delta of t, where does it exist? This exists at t equal to 1. Okay, and delta of t minus 1 is not in the range of integration. Again, it is out of the range of integration. That's why what is this? This actually goes 0. Understand that point, everybody? Now, see this. See this. D. Okay. So let's have minus infinity to plus infinity. So that problem is solved now. So we are not taking the limited range of integration. We are taking the whole t all the time as the time in the range of integration. Okay. So now you'll not have problem whether this delta of t exists in this range or not. Certainly it will exist, but yes, the challenge is to evaluate it. Fine. So what is this? Is it's e power minus t is the signal. Okay, delta of 2t minus 2 is the delta function or the unit impulse function. So can you make out where this delta of 2t minus 2 exists? Can you work on with this? So this is, let's see. So this is delta of t, means it exists at t equal to 0. Okay, and it says that it is scaled as well as shifted, and the precedence rule says that we need to shift first. Okay, so let's shift this first. Okay, so if we shift, what is that we're going to have? 0. So let's have, what is that I'm trying to have is this delta of t minus 2 is what I'm trying to have, and where will that be? So it will be here. Find delta of t minus 2 with area under the impulse as 1. Now if you time scale it by 2, what would happen? Now if you time scale it by 2, what should happen? See, so what is there at 2 should now shrink and come at 1. So this is delta of 2t minus 2. Okay, whatever is there at 2 should come at 1 is what is the idea. Okay, so this is your delta of 2t minus 2. So this exists at what? T equal to 1. Therefore we can say this is equal to what? E power minus t being evaluated at t equal to 1. So therefore it is e power minus 1. Is this okay with you, everybody? Now let's go on with some more problems. Okay. Now this.